Okay, I think kita boleh mula sekarang. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan selamat petang. Saya ucapkan kepada semua yang sudi menghadiri siri webinar ASOMH kali kelima pada tahun ini. Saya Muhammad Ehsan Fitri, Pegawai Sains Genetik merangkap Jawatankuasa ASOMH. Mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada semua yang sudi hadir dan mendengar siri webinar, dan juga kita berbesar hati bersama penceramah jemputan kita, Puan Shel Ling. So I can call you Shel, right?
Yes, that's right, Ehsan.
Yang merupakan Area Sales Manager bagi AcuTest Sistem Sedia Berhad. Pada petang ini, beliau akan menyampaikan sebuah sharing session yang bertajuk Analytical Performance Specifications in QAP Beyond Statistics. Jadi tanpa melengahkan masa, saya mempersilakan Puan Shel untuk menyampaikan webinar. Dipersilakan.
Thank you very much. Terima kasih Muhammad Ehsan, or Ehsan, I'll just call you Ehsan for short.
Yeah.
Okay. Jadi I think I can see that the record button is on. I am very thankful for one of your committees, Wena, for inviting me to do this presentation. Okay, I akan cuba presentkan presentation ni tanpa fokus sangat tentang produk, but more on the concept of analytical performance specification. Kebanyakan contoh-contoh is of course from the product itself, RCPA QAP, iaitu program daripada Royal College of Pathologists of Australasia Quality Assurance Program. Jadi just for the information, AcuTest Systems Malaysia Sdn Bhd is now part of the DKSH group. Jadi kemudian kalau kita nampak DKSH kat mana-mana ke, actually there's also AcuTest Systems lah. We are the distributor for RCPA in Malaysia. Okay, some learning objective. 5 main components that hopefully at the end of 1 hour, kita semua boleh belajar 5 main component. Yang pertamanya, the component of APS. Okay, what is APS? Analytical Performance Specification. Or some may call it a different name. There are many QA program. Kebanyakannya juga akan menggunakan perkataan APS, Analytical Performance Specification. Jadi it's not a concept hanya kepada our brand, it's available in a lot of other QA as well. And I will also focus mostly on quantitative testing, sebab QA tu merangkumi banyak disiplin. Ada disiplin yang tak ada unit kuantitatif, ada what do you call it, QA yang lebih kepada mungkin morphology cells dan sebagainya. So my examples will be based on quantitative, and then I would want to differentiate, okay, untuk bezakan statistical performance, iaitu Z-score, yang biasanya Z-score kita gunakan untuk IQC calculation kebiasaannya, and the clinical performance of APS, Analytical Performance Specification. Dan jika ada masa, kita akan cuba kira-kira lah macam mana nak kira Z-score, macam mana nak kira APS index, mengikut some QA report. And also touch a little, I think some of you, ada soalan ke? Okay. Some of you may actually be on your way to the MS ISO 15189, the latest one, 2022. So I will describe a bit, tapi I tak boleh share lah this MS ISO sebab yang ni copyrighted punya document, but I will share some of the concepts in the MS ISO, how our APS relates to those concepts. And if possible, I will explain about measurement uncertainty in brief secara ringkas, and also how you can extract QA data, not only from our program, but any QA, external QA data untuk mengira measurement uncertainty. So these are the 5 main things hopefully I can cover within this 1 hour lah. Okay, if you have question, maybe you can put in the chat room and then we open for Q&A at the end. Ataupun kalau question tu sangat-sangat penting, you nak stop, you can unmute and stop me lah. Okay, just very quickly, sebab ni lepas lunch kan, kita semua pun dah lepas lunch, mungkin we are all on food coma lah, dah makan nasi, nak makan mie ke apa. I want to get to know you lah. If you just flash, I think you would see a word cloud. And if you have your handphone, it would be good if you are participating. Okay, I've pressed play. Okay. if you go on this Slido ataupun kalau you guna handphone ke atau PC lain, you masukkan 1320726 as your code, then there's a soalan. So you start typing lah soalan-soalan tu. Nanti I will have a look at where you're from and so on so forth. Nampaknya saya seorang sajalah yang kat sini. Dapat buka Slido?
Reti lah.
Berarti. Ataupun kalau you guna phone, you just type Slido, slido.com. Lepas tu you masukkan kod 1320726. It's just something for us to do lah sebelum kita masuk terus dalam ceramah macam ni. The mind is still macam very restless lepas makan semua tu. So I just want to have something fun dulu. Dapat tak? Ataupun
Kalau I tengah tengok kat handphone macam mana ni nak kena keluar balik?
kalau handphone buka kamera, cuba scan benda tu, dia akan buka browser. Bila buka browser nanti ada banyak jawapan Wow, okay. Right, interesting. So I'm seeing here a lot of dari Miri pun ada, Jengke pun ada, PDN pun ada. So just continue to put it in. Okay, kalau ada yang tak dapat nak masukkan Slido tak apa. Okay, very interesting. I'm not sure if I can share this. Later I will flash where you're from, who you're coming from. Wow, very interesting. A lot of places. Dari Hospital Umum Sarawak pun ada. We also have private Ling, Sunway, some of the private. Okay, thank you all very much. If you see, let me see. Are you able to see the results? Mungkin ada yang tak nampak result lah. Tak apa. Okay, let's move on. Now, we spoke a little bit about the learning objective. So let's go into EQA. I think most of you would participate in some EQA. Doesn't matter what is the size of your hospital. You may join some kind of external quality assurance ataupun for proficiency testing, or in some cases, bila ujian tu ataupun test analyte tersebut is quite complex, you may actually be using what we call inter-laboratory comparison, ILC, sebagai satu cara untuk compare result. So bila kita kata proficiency testing, sebenarnya PT tu analytical component, maksudnya komponen untuk mengira-ngira lah of the external QA. Why we say it's only one component? Sebab EQA tu termasuk banyak perkara, pre-analytics, okay, the cycle of testing, macam mana you terima sample. So dalam MS ISO 15189-2022, one of the clause actually mentioned that you must document how is your sample being received. Like in our case, if the sample, most of our samples can be sent in room temperature atau ambient temperature, sometimes we put ice and sebagainya, we have documentation to tell you that it's okay to receive it in that condition, yeah. So you must document that, and then you analyze, you run lah the test, okay, you analyze, you run the test, you analyze, lepas tu you hantar. Some mungkin hantar dulu masa 20 years ago when I start working, ada yang guna fax lah, but sekarang semua online, kita buka portal, kita masukkan result, okay, you send the result, and then you get a report. So report is the part that's quite complex. Macam bila kita dapat report, apa benda yang kita boleh fahamkan daripada report? Apa review dan apa corrective action? So this is a cycle. Then dia cycle ni tak berhenti continuous cycle, okay? Continuous cycle of the EQA process. So let's move on. Now, I want to go into history. Okay, masuk bab history pula. So actually, the concept of analytical performance specification. Okay, so perkataan tu daripada perkataan analytical performance. Daripada performance analytical performance. Maksudnya, how your analyte perform lah. So this earlier, the first consensus hierarchy in 1999 is known as Stockholm hierarchy. The Stockholm hierarchy got 5 level. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ada 5 level. And most people were using this to grade themselves. Untuk tahu, okay, kita punya performance okay ke tak. So there are those that are based on clinical outcomes. Maksudnya ada study. Okay, there's a big study, they get 1,000 over patients, macam CRC buat sometimes, they look at clinical outcomes. The thing about level 1 specification, there are very few level 1 specification because there are not many full clinical outcomes. There are a lot of small research macam 100 orang, 50 orang, maybe satu bandar, satu state, things like that, very small numbers. But there are very few level 1 specification that has a huge clinical outcome. Some examples is actually HbA1c and then glucose as well. Most of the time, kebanyakan masa, QA or quality assurance performance is based on generally biological variation, BV. So BV ni mana dah dapat? Is actually from EFLM, European Federation of Lab Medicine. Sekarang diorang tak kata pergi Westgard lah. They ask go to EFLM, and you should be able to see all the biological variation of different analytes. Okay, of course there are also data based on clinicians' opinion. Jadi mungkin pakar jantung, pakar yang lain-lain lah, all the other experts, they would know what is the range that is allowed. Okay, the range that's allowed. And of course, published professional recommendation. So the difference between this level 3 and level 1 is a clinical study. Okay, the other one is published recommendation. Mungkin daripada expert committee tertentu, local groups, like maybe from ASOMH or MACB, certain groups, they publish some recommendation. So this is level 3 specification. Level 4 specification, it becomes easier in the sense that it's a regulatory body, mungkin badan-badan tertentu, ataupun QA performance, QA program daripada UK, daripada US, daripada Australia. So it could be all of these other performances. And the next one is goals based on current state of the art. So current state of the art actually refers to the latest machine. Okay, machine terbaru, mungkin dia ada some data on the EQA atau proficiency testing. Dari segi CV, the performance maybe 2%, 3%, 4%, and so on so forth. Or publication, in US when they want to start a new machine, dia orang nak introduce machine kan, US FDA dia kena buat study. So dalam study tu mungkin ada publication tentang method performance. So this is the first like consensus hierarchy lah, 1999, 5 level, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we move on, mouse. So we move on in 2014. So they have all this meeting, right? So in 2014, it was done in Milan. Okay, in Milan, they have 3 main models. Jadi kalau sebelum ni ada 5, they now have 3 main models. So the 3 main models is very close. Model 1 masih sama dengan model 1 of Stockholm hierarchy, which is outcome studies or indirect outcome studies, but they are all based on clinical outcome. Ya, memang study. Model 2 is also same as level 2, which is biological variation of the measurement. Okay, so kita tahulah dalam badan seseorang tu, we have BV. Okay, morning lain, lunchtime lain, evening lain, malam lain, the values are different. So this is looking at BV. Okay, and then the third model is state of the art. Okay, state of the art, they combine QA, state of the art, instrument performance. So they combine. Jadi kalau dulu ni ada 5, now most of us are following these 3 main models, which is level 1, level 2, and level 3, and it's a Milan consensus 2014. So that's the history. That's how it all began. Okay, we are based on performance variation or analytical performance specification based on this model now, Milan consensus. So then the concept of analytical performance specification, okay, it doesn't come from our company, it doesn't come from RCPA, but it's actually a task force. Okay, ada satu group, okay, EFLM task group, task finish group. Okay, so they talk about analytical performance specification for EQAS untuk external quality assurance program, and this was done in this was published in 2017. So they have many people daripada US, daripada Australia. Okay, Graham Jones is from Australia, daripada US, daripada UK. So what they did was they review, okay, what type of specification, what type of APS that QA programs provide for the user. So they look at many things. They look at metrics, they look at commutability, they look at how you set the target value, they look at other properties macam total error, bias, imprecision, measurement uncertainty, dan sebagainya. So if you need a copy of this paper, nanti at our feedback form, you can actually inside your comments say that, share this copy so I can get it online and just share with you. It's a good paper to understand because this paper talk about the concept of APS. So APS ni is a range. But there are so many QA providers in the world, so many bukan saja RCPA QAP, Australia. For us, in RCPA, we use a combination of biological variation and state of the art. So we are level 2, level 3. Level 1 clinical outcome untuk 1 atau 2 analyte sahaja. Sebenarnya is more for, if I'm not mistaken, maybe like A1C and glucose. Only 1 or 2, very few analytes. Oh, sorry. Okay, I had a technical glitch. Okay, so these are the many different type of models, okay, the many types of combination yang satu-satu QA boleh pilih. And all of these are known as analytical performance specification. Jadi, kalau you kena keluarkan tender, let's say you need to prepare a tender, and then you say, macam mana I nak guna frasa ataupun term, right? You can use the word analytical performance specification because it's not menjurus. It is actually a term that applies across many type of UA. Analytical performance specification. So it is applied across many different type of program, but for us is biological variation dengan state of the art. So there's so many, banyak-banyak sini. Okay, so now that you know there is analytical performance specification, it is a set range. It can be anything. It can be biological variation. It can be state of the art. It can be statistical. Kalau statistical tu biasa kita kata Z-score lah. Z-score is statistical. Okay. It can also be like here it says limits given by scientific society. Yeah. So it can be all of these. So that's what analytical performance specification means, APS. Now, if you go to our general web page, you can download. It's free to download. You boleh download PDF. You boleh print kalau nak atau save soft copy. So for RCPA, there's only 4 disiplin. 4 disiplin sahaja yang ada APS. The rest, because macam microbiology dengan serology, we don't have APS. That is more qualitative in nature because we are looking at detected, not detected, positive, or non-positive, those type of answer. So, but otherwise, these models or these discipline ada APS. So you can visit and you can just click on all of these. Ya, masuk sini, pergi ke resources, cari APS, and you can just click and download. So I'm just going to show you some APS, namely chemistry and also hemato, because I want to tell you how we compare. So for chemistry, okay, our chemistry APS is based on, they tell you here, these are biological variation. Either it is total error or imprecision sahaja, tak ada bias, okay, total error or imprecision. And we also tell you the level, desirable, optimal, minimal dan sebagainya. So dokumen dia sangat panjang, I'm just choosing. And then we have 2 types of limit, a number and a percentage. Jadi soalan yang kita selalu dapat is, ayah macam mana I nak tahu I nak guna nombor ke persen? Actually sebenarnya kalau you kira percentage of the limit, okay, 6% of 33, ni kena bawa keluar calculator 6% of 33 you will get, okay, you akan dapat, you will get this value, the absolute value, the apa tu? 2.0, you will get that particular number. Ataupun 12% of 125, you akan dapat 15. So sometimes you may just want to refer to this. Okay, what is my range? Acceptable APS. 6%, 12%, 10% dan sebagainya. So it's easier to remember this than the absolute value. But why there's a number here? This is the critical limits lah, the critical limits. Okay, jadi dari segi amylase, your critical limit is 100 U per L, macam tu. Ataupun kalau chloride, 100 millimolar. Okay, so that's an example. So we move on. What about macam hemato? So for hematology, our performance or APS actually is based on, in this case, measurement system, meaning state of the art. Kita compare based on the measurement of the system, okay, state of the art. Jadi this a bit different, range dia pun besar kalau kita tengok. Platelet, okay, 25%. I see a very interesting question. I will come back to you, Pak Hafizah. Soalan tu kita boleh buat kat hujung nanti. 25% of this number. Okay, so these are all just concept. Okay, so, alamak. So all this I just bukan download lah, I buat screenshot tadi daripada daripada our website. APS. Now, kita dah masuk dalam 20 minit lebih. Okay, I nak buat quiz. Okay, Slido yang sama, page yang sama. Kalau you have the same page, you just refresh lah. You buat refresh, okay? If you refresh the page on your browser, on your phone, alright, we can, okay, let's see how I can do this. Okay, Slido yang sama. Oh, ada a few people, 7 orang, 8 orang, 9 orang. Bila the game macam ni, short lah sikit ya. Okay, I wait for a bit, 17:20. Now I'm going to stop share here because I want to let you all come back to this. Oh, macam mana nak stop share? Stop presenting. I want to go to my Slido. Okay. And I'm going to start this quiz. There are about 66 people. I'm going to share. Okay, there's like 1 question, 2 question, 3 question. So siapa yang sempat masuk kita main lah. Kalau tak apa. I will try to share with you on the page.
Saya boleh tengok je lah, tak boleh nak masuk.
Tak apa, no problem. Let me see if I can share the Slido. Okay. The number is 1320726. Kalau ada yang miss gambar tadi kan, 1320726. Okay. Ada je siapa dapat. Okay, thank you. Okay, that's the first question. Ada yang dapat live quiz. So I think I set a timer. So probably after the 30 seconds, it will stop. I don't know whether 30 seconds dah berlalu ke tak. I'm actually trying the quiz for the first time lah. So you jawab je. Apa you rasa 2 soalan ke? You jawab 2, 3 ke 3. Mana tahu Kuala Lumpur 2020 is one of the consensus hierarchy ke.
Sorry, I can't go for the next question.
Okay, yeah, not yet. Because some haven't answered yet. That's why. Okay, now, because some of you have not answered, I'll still move on because it's a live quiz. It's like 1 question after another. So kalau yang tak sempat tu, sorry lah I progress Tak ada jawapan, tak ada markah lah. Okay, this is the answers. Okay, now, we've had a few people even answer Paris. Actually, the correct answer is Stockholm and Milan. Paris tak ada, Kuala Lumpur pun tak ada. Okay. Kenapa ada nombor IC? Jangan. Okay, so there's only 2, 1999, Stockholm and Milan. Okay, so I'll move on to the question. Okay, that's the 2 answer lah yang betulnya. Kalau ada yang tak sempat, tak apa. We just for learning sahajalah. Now, tadi I mentioned about, ada orang menang-menang models or component for APS. Jadi APS tu ada banyak. Okay, banyak jenis APS. You masukkan jawapan yang you rasa berkenaan tentang APS. Kalau you rasa BV tu is a APS, you jawab BV. Z-score tu APS, you jawab Z-score. State of the art APS, you jawab state of the art. Expert opinion APS, you jawab juga. Jadi kita nampak ada 70 orang dah masukkan result. So the idea is for you to just recall back. Okay, konsep tadi yang I mention tu lah, panjang lah. 95, okay, we're almost to 100. Okay, because of the interest of time masa tak cukup I nak tunjukkan jawapan. Okay, jawapannya adalah, okay, semua betul sebenarnya, okay. Jawapannya semua betul. Okay, all is correct. But we can see not everyone pilih semua. Okay. Alamak, ni dah pendek dah sikit ni. Ada yang jawab expert opinion 41%. Actually expert opinion is one form of APS juga. Jadi sebenarnya jawapannya semua. BV tu APS. Okay. Statistical result Z-score pun sejenis APS. State of the art APS. And expert opinion juga APS. Alright. So these are all 4 are APS. Then the next question, soalan yang sangat betul lah semua betul you tak nampak warna hijau I punya nampak warna hijau. Okay. Alright, last question. Yeah, there's a timer timer tu tengah turun 26, 27 Okay, so which country does RCPA QAP originated from? Tadi ada termention sikit lah. Mungkin ada yang dengar, ada yang tak dengar. Okay, tapi jawapannya bukan Malaysia. Jawapannya bukan Malaysia, sila jangan pilih. 10 seconds, 9 saat, 8 saat, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Yeah, yes, okay. Bukan Australia, it's actually Australia. Okay, jawapan sebenarnya memang Australia. Okay, that is the correct answer. Australia is the correct answer. Okay, sekian sahaja quiz untuk petang ini. Stop sharing. Now move on. Thank you. Okay, it's just for you all not to feel so boring lah sebab kita tahu kan bila kita ada presentation ni memang susah sikit lah nak fokus. Alright, jom kita tengok balik dekat presentation. Alamak. Window sini. Okay, now we go straight into, ni lah masa you nak bawa keluar calculator, nak bawa keluar apa? Handphone, masa yang sangat-sangat sesuai sebab kita akan buat pengiraan. Okay, actually a lot of this information, information I mentioned about this, about APS, is from this book called Data Analysis and Assessment Handbook. This one also have soft copy. Kalau you join, you boleh dapat. Kalau you tak join, you pun boleh download. Tak ada masalah. It's not secret ke apa-apa. Siapa-siapa pun boleh dapatkan because they explain about concept of APS. They explain about what type of range you can use. Okay, so we in RCPA they use a standardized approach across the discipline. Kita ada quantitative and qualitative. Today we focus more on quantitative. Okay, jadi dari segi kuantitatif, we always like to use this picture, this particular gambar of the bow and arrow, okay, because this is where the target is. Okay, we're talking about target scores. So target tu it can be a specific target. Like kita dah hantar sampel tu, material tu kepada satu lab ataupun beberapa negara yang boleh determine the target value. Sometimes they might use very complex method like LCMS, GCMS, AAS untuk mengira kuantiti dalam that particular product or that particular sample. But most of the time it can be using calculated median of all result atau specific category. So that's the target source. You can take a picture of this. Kalau tak nak pun tak apa, we will get a PDF of this available for those that answer the feedback later. So depending on sample type, whether it is spike, commutable, that means tak kisah brand apa, machine apa, is sama je result you boleh buat on all the machine, ataupun non-commutable sample, we may determine the target source differently. Specific target, kalau dia spike, okay, kalau it's very commutable, we use all result. Kalau dia non-commutable, mungkin brand A cara dia baca lain, brand B cara dia baca lain. Sebab apa? They pick up different antibodies lah, different markers. So we may use calculated median of category. This is where your real peer come in. Jadi kadang-kadang kita ditanya ada peer group tak? So you can ask our sales team. If we have the answer, we will share with you. Okay, peer group dia berapa? 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 dan sebagainya. Okay, so calculated mean of category specific results. Then I move on. What about qualitative? Briefly, 2 slide saja. So for qualitative, we actually look at consensus of all result. Okay, banyak-banyak jenis model machine yang ada. And then we also have a specific target because most of our qualitative program, we already know the real patient sebab kita dapat daripada dermaan patient sebenarnya, and then we may have some form of grading. Okay, mungkin ada grading untuk hemato atau transfusion, especially kalau dia ada +3, +2, +1, benda macam tu lah. So and we use this term concordant, discordant, not assess, no participation. Paling takut kalau dapat discordant lah, maksudnya salah, okay, ataupun fail. So sometimes we may need to check with RCPA, kenapa jawapan kita considered as discordant atau tak consistent, not consistent. So there are many ways to go about it. We will usually ask them like, where is this material derived from? If we suspect material, can we get repeat materials to run the sample again? Right? No access means tak boleh di-access sebab tak dapat majority 80%. Or no participation, tidak submit langsung. Okay, didn't join anything, didn't submit any result. Now we go into the quantitative part of the program. Okay, quantitative part of the program where we have a few terms: APS, APS score, Z score, total error MPS. Jadi tadi ada satu soalan tentang total error. Kita boleh cuba mengira. So our total error is the standard total error is 2SD plus bias. MPS is a total error index sebab 2SD plus bias bahagi dengan apa? APS of the mid-range of all concentration. Jadi actually dalam setiap report, okay, every report that we have this page. This is the general page. We have this page. And we actually tell you untuk APS, what is the range? Apakah julat yang dibenarkan untuk setiap analyte tersebut? Okay, the only question we always orang tanya, macam mana I nak kira score ni? APS score ke, APS index atau Z score? Macam mana I nak kira? So, formula dia kat sini, I akan tunjukkan formulanya kejap lagi. But from the report, ni orang lain punya, tak tahu siapa punya lah. I just nak tunjuk ada banyak warna. Kalau result you out, you akan dapat, sekejap you akan dapat warna merah macam ni. Out. Okay, result out Kalau result you within APS, kita tulis within APS. And then dekat tepi ni ada Z score dengan APS value. For RCPA, we don't really look at the statistical Z score. Why? Because we say we are based on biological variation, so we use APS. And we are based on state of the art, which is the instrument performance, state of the art. So we look more on APS. Kalau Z score lebih daripada 2 ke, lebih daripada 3 ke, they might be here, tapi they mungkin tak highlight apa-apa. Okay, but APS out, low or high, it will be mentioned. And, hold on. Okay, like if it says low, or if it says something else within APS of category group. Category group ni mungkin machine yang tertentu ataupun teknologi yang tertentu. They will compare with that category group. For user, we also want you to look at MPS. Sebab MPS tu total error. MPS kalau boleh pun less than 1. APS index also less than 1, kurang daripada 1. So cara pengiraannya is like this. Z score tu senang. Z score tu you can apply across any statistical information. Z score is your result tolak target. In this case mean. And then bahagi dengan apa? SD. Okay, this is your Z score. You can use it for your IQC. You can use it anywhere. Z score. I put here less than 2, less than 3 because if we follow Westgard says less than 2 is a warning rule. Okay, only more than 3 is a rejection rule. Okay, so that's why we say 2 or 3. Okay, warning rule 2 or reject 3. Okay, whereas for APS score or APS index, it has to be less than 1 because it's a clinical implication. Ada isu dari segi clinical. So the measurement is your result tolak target. Sama je macam atas, your result tolak target. Tapi target kita in this case is mungkin median, mungkin target. And pembawahnya is the measurement limit, which is APS. Mana nak dapat APS? It's in your report. Okay, so satu tu statistical, satu tu clinical. Okay, two different things of looking at it. So where to find your results? Sekejap, biar saya tunjukkan dekat laser pointer. Where is your APS? APS di sini. Okay, APS di sini. How do you want to see your APS visually? There's a grey line here. There's a grey line here. If you are inside this range, you're within 1 APS lah, positive or negative. Inside this grey range, again within APS. The next thing we look at, tak kisah sini ke sini ke sini, these are all Jordan plots, right? If you are outside of the box, meaning you're outside of the APS. If you are inside the box, you are within the APS. And in this case, ada satu in, ada satu out. Alright, so this is the APS box. And over here is your Z score over a period of time. So in our visual representation, kita pun ada dua Z score 2 or 3. If Z score 2 is a warning rule, Z score 3 rejection rule. Jadi warna kelabu appears after 3, up or down. 2 is just a warning rule. It's the same like your IQC Westgard rules. 1 to S is a warning rule. 2 to S is most likely rejection. 1 to S is a rejection rule. Yeah, so that is how it applies as well. This is for APS index. So all of these can be calculated. All right. So dari segi how it's represented, you have your histogram. So histograms gives you a spread. Kalau histogram kita, let me have a look. Okay, visually, kalau histogram kita kecil, without all this, we say it's a very close result. But we can see here, wow, 1, 2, 3, like got 3 different groups of result. Dari sini pun kita nampak macam, kenapa spread sangat? Dari sini pun kita nampak, kenapa ada group yang berbeza-beza? Right? So there could be a reason. It could be for this analyte. We're talking about some non-commutable issues and things like that. So in this case, they said you are compare against measurement system. So apakah measurement system? Is this particular model, okay, this particular machine. Alright, ini hanya satu contoh. I'm not saying anything about the machine. Kita tak boleh mengatakan apa-apa tentang brand. We just saying this is just example. Okay, and here is your linearity chart. Kalau boleh kita nak linear lah. Kalau kita kat bawah tu out of range atau atas tu out of range, we start to suspect benda-benda macam PPM, servicing, aging of machine, you know, range kita dah jadi tak linear. It's no longer a linear range. Alright, so histogram, all result, Yoden plots, and finally Z-score, LJN linearity chart. Okay, ada satu gambaran lain. This is a very simple one. This is a white cell. Same thing. APS di mana? APS di sini. So there's a range. It says 10%. Okay. Now you can see for this particular analyte, is easier to control or is easier to have good precision sebab kita punya histogram pun kecil begini, kecil begini. Dari segi Yoden plot, most data are here. There are some down here which is represented by this dot over here. Okay, and then of course here there's a slight negative bias sebab dia bawah kosong. Okay, slight negative bias. This one we need to see lah over a period of time how the result is happening, is progressing. Okay, so again, histogram, Yoden plot, Z-score, APS score, linearity plot. Your APS and target source are all mentioned here. Okay, now the question is, how do we calculate Z-score and how do we calculate APS score? So tadi, formula yang saya bagi tadi, we talk about your result tolak expected result, or in this case could be a median, could be a mean. You can now take out your calculator kalau nak. Okay, this is white cell lah, white cell. Okay, this actually dua gambar. Tunjuk kat sini dulu. This white cell. Okay, this is a summary from the user. So dia kata, oh, Z-score you, okay, your result, expected result, APS kosong. Betul, sebab expected result 4.4. Okay, because 4.4 tolak 4.4 bahagi dengan in this case white cell is 10%, 10% 0.44, you get 0 lah sebab atas tu 0. Now what about Z-score? Wah, negative 0.1. Mana nak dapat mean daripada white cell kau ni? Mean di sini, muka surat biasa ketiga atau keempat. Method comparison will tell you the mean. Alamak, hold on, there's a cursor. Okay, the mean is shown here. Mean standard deviation. Mean standard deviation. So you boleh cuba kira lah, dapat tak negative 0.1. So in this case, the mean for this white cell is 4.46. Kita dapat 4.4. Jadi kita negatif lah. That's why we get negative 0.1. Ini salah satu cara. Now if you are enrolled in the program, you can try to calculate. Sometimes you may not get an exact number sebab nombor ni kita dapat satu tempat perpuluhan, but RCPA don't bundarkan apa-apa. Dia tak mark up ke mark down, tak. Nombor tu kalau 0.156 ke 0.1 saja dia akan tunjuk kat sini. Okay, so you can try calculating this on your own. Okay, I tak suruh minta calculate sekarang sebab banyak kerja lah. But you can try to calculate. Most of the time you are able to calculate because it's your result, tolak expected result. And where to get your APS? Di sini I tunjuk I go back. Your APS is here, okay. APS you daripada sini, okay. APS is here. Alright, so this is your pembawah. Pembawah tu APS lah. So if you want to know what is the median, you can use this particular method or this particular Yoden plot. This is the median. 15.86 or 8.29. So 10% of this level is 1.586. 10% of this level is 0.829. Tu cara I buat pengiraan lah. Jadi your result which is 15.38 tolak apa? Tolak median 15.86 bahagi dengan 10% 1.586. You akan dapat negative 0.3. Okay, Z-score tak boleh dapat daripada muka surat ni, tapi you usually have to go to the next page. Next page yang ada this information. Method comparison. Sebab di muka surat ini ada mean, ada standard deviation. Jadi you boleh buat pengiraan. Okay, I just keep it simple saja sebab kalau tak 2 jam pun tak habis today's session. So, but you can calculate and reconfirm any of the Z score or the APS. Okay, now this is another example. So you can see, okay, there's a lot of drift over here, right? There's a lot of drift over here. It could be the method, it could be the material, it could be a particular brand that is not even this brand that's causing this drift. Yeah. So this is an example. Now, sometimes we have people, which I'm going to lead to the next concept of measurement uncertainty. So people ask, kita boleh tak guna result daripada QA untuk membuat pengiraan MU, pengiraan bias? Yes, you can get some information from our report. But I need to tell you, what is the difference of our bias with, let's say, bias yang you nak kira untuk measurement uncertainty? Ada perbezaan. So end of cycle report, dulu kita ada satu report lain, nama dia end of cycle report. Now we don't have, now we have precision and accuracy information dalam report yang biasa-biasa. Selepas 6 data point, after 6 data point, meaning after 3 months, the software from RCPA will calculate for you standard deviation, CV, linearity and ranking, which is your precision and accuracy information. Okay, kalau your survey, sebab kita punya survey kebanyakannya berpasang-pasang 2 sampel macam tu, selepas survey ketiga ataupun pada survey yang ketiga, you dah ada 6 data point, this information is available for you, SD, CV, linearity, ranking. Okay, so sometimes the idea is normally we say 6 bulan tengok sekali kan, tapi mungkin ada yang nak buat lebih kerap 3 bulan, 4 bulan. So you have the information right now, and this is an example tadi juga FT3 of the information. SD berapa, CV berapa, bias berapa. Okay, so SD ni value lah, CV ni percentage, bias ni pun value. Okay, value at this what do you call it, unit, this unit. Then ranking, ranking kecil bagus ke besar bagus? Sebenarnya kecil bagus. Small is the best. Okay, so in this case, this particular lab is poor performing lah, poor performing. Now the question we get asked is, I nak kira MU ataupun I nak guna bias daripada QA, boleh tak ambil nombor ni? Kita tak recommend sebab the reason is this bias is only based on 3 levels of concentration: lowest concentration, highest concentration and middle concentration. Apa dia buat? Your data tolak target ada satu nombor. Highest concentration, your data tolak target ada satu nombor yang lain. 0.1 di sini 0.4 di sini. What about middle? Kita ada slope dengan intercept kan? Bila ada slope dengan intercept, kita boleh kira mid concentration dan kita boleh kira what is our expected data according to slope and intercept. Ni dah kelas matematik dah. Y equals to mx plus c. So you boleh kira bias at 3 level. Lowest, highest and middle. And then you can get bias. It is perbezaan, campur perbezaan, bahagi dengan 3. So you get bias. Is this enough for bias calculation? Sebenarnya for indication of performance, enough, cukup. Kita nak tahu 0.22. Lagi kecil bias, lagi bagus lah. But if you want to count this into your MU, mungkin tak cukup. So I would recommend if you really want to calculate MU, you should cari perbezaan setiap data. Setiap satu data, kejap I rasa ada buat gambar ni. Klik. Okay, jap. Oh, not this page. Hold on. Setiap data, setiap data you boleh kira biasness in a percentage number. Kira setiap satu point. Bias kita berapa? 3%, 5% and so on so forth. And then you measure all the biasness. Okay, you add up all the biasness. Okay, that one can be another class as well, but you can calculate not from this number, but from the individual data point. Individual data point untuk mengira bias untuk measurement uncertainty. So what are the end of cycle reports you will get? Bar graph, CV, linearity plots. So what is the importance of bar graphs and CV, right? Actually, kita kan ada APS. And you, how should I say, every manufacturer will tell you, machine saya sekian-sekian bagus. CV saya 5%. CV saya 10%. So bila you join QA, then you compare. CV saya 12%. Bagus ke tak bagus? Terpulang kepada analyte. Itu sama ada untuk analyte yang ini, CV dia berapa? What is your claim manufacturer CV? Is it 20%? Is it 30%? Kalau macam tu kita okey lah. Tapi kalau dia kata CV-nya 3%, kita dapat 12. Something wrong. Apa yang terjadi? Kenapa? Is it low concentration, high concentration? What caused these differences? Okay, soalannya banyak. Jawapan dia I tak ada, tapi banyak yang kita boleh soal. So we can see from here what is our CV, compare with what your manufacturer claim. Sometimes is servicing, sometimes is human error, tersalah tulis ke apa, sometimes is post transcriptional. Masa you run betul, masa nak submit tu salah. Okay, so many areas. Just investigate. But if we are here, kat hujung ni, kesian lah kat hujung-hujung ni, 90%, 93%. Kalau boleh kita nak di depan-depan lah. Okay, so here you can see the CV. Half of them can get very good CV, 4.7%. Right? This is the middle point kat sini. 4.5% sebenarnya at 50% at halfway mark. So this gives us an indication that analyte, how we are performing for that particular analyte. Okay, then I move on. Ada lagi last. Masuk balik Slido. This one. Kalau tak pernah cuba tadi, dah masuk lambat ke apa, tak apa, masuk je all this. Okay, then I just want you to put in macam terminology. Apakah terminology yang you dengar hari ini? Okay, funny terms that you hear today. Oops, now I cannot stop the slide. Okay, interesting terms that you heard today. Okay, and right. Okay, and I will show you over here. Word cloud, ada juga. Ada perkataan-perkataan yang you tak pernah dengar. Okay, maybe you've not heard of it before. Let me just share with you what are some of the words that you have heard today. Ini kah? Okay. Yeah. So, okay. Ni nama orang pun dah keluar ni. Okay. Commutable. MU. UME. Okay. APS, MPS, APS score. Right? So many interesting words that you've heard today. Biological variation. Adalah kot. So measurement. Okay. Measurement ni I nak explain sekejap Measurement maksudnya analyte lah. Dalam kita punya bahasa kita panggil analyte. For RCPA they call it as measurement. A lot of other places also call it as measurement. So yes, this is very interesting. Some of the biggest words I see here is MPS, APS. Yeah. UME tu apa I tak pasti. MU tu I tahu lah. UMME tu I tak tahu. Okay. Uncertainty measurement. Okay. Anyways, these are some terminology that you have heard today. Thank you all very much. Memang baguslah you all ni. Okay. Rajin je buat sharing-sharing Okay. I sambung. Ada 3 atau 4 slide lagi. Then we will open for questions. Alright. So hopefully you have an idea. Okay. What's all this? Kalau ada perkataan yang you tak pernah dengar, search for it, find out more information. Okay, that's why I call it eye break. Berhenti sekejap. So, kita masuk last part. MS ISO 1518-92022. Jadi ada some of you that is already going for ISO 15189, the latest 2022 punya version. Okay, so in the MS ISO 15189, actually they have a few terminologies that for me it relates to topik kita hari ni, analytical performance specification. One of the terminology dalam bahagian 310, okay, dia kata terminology 310. Apakah EQA? Okay, EQA itu evaluation of your performance against pre-established criteria. So tak kisah CPA ke QA mana-mana, they all have pre-established criteria. This is analytical performance specification sebab it's the specification of your performance of the analyte. So that is your pre-established criteria. APS itu adalah pre-established criteria. APS tu mungkin Z-score. APS tu mungkin statistical. APS itu mungkin biological variation. APS itu mungkin many things, state of the art. So this is the established criteria. Okay, by inter-laboratory comparison. That's why kita ada banyak apa? Banyak machine, kita kena inform machine kita apa, reagent kita apa, method kita apa. Then untuk measurement uncertainty, they also talk about, okay, this measurement is the character, the dispersion of the quantity value. Maksudnya, kalau kita run satu sampel, okay, kita kata glucose lah. Kita kata glucose tu 7. MU-nya plus minus 0.3. Maksudnya nombor yang kita dapat tu mungkin antara 6.7 hingga 7.3. Sebab apa? Sebab ada imprecision. Sebab ada biological variation. Sebab ada bias. So this is measurement uncertainty. Right? So again, they ask you to look at, use whatever available data about the analytical performance. And you should be able to tell your clinician this is an interval of value, okay, MU is a value, a range, okay, that should include the actual value of the analyte or the measurement with a certain level of confidence. Biasanya kita kata level of confidence tu kita nak K equals to 1.96, which is 95%, atau K equals to 2, which is 95.5%. Yeah, so there's another full topic about measurement uncertainty. Yang tu I can get my colleague Dr. Yamuna to talk about it also, measurement uncertainty. Okay, or it's about data about analytical performance based on calibrator assigned value or long-term imprecision of IQC, right? So MU ni banyak kepada IQC, information of IQC, tapi sebenarnya dalam kita punya QA pun boleh dapat maklumat tentang pengiraan MU or to have an idea. So then got banyak lah, okay, I tak boleh copy paste lah nanti jadi confidential pula benda ni dokumen, control dokumen ISO 15189 ni control dokumen, tapi dalam banyak-banyak part dengan proses is good for you to learn, alamak typo, it's good for you to know part 7.3.4 macam mana nak evaluate MU. Okay, 7.3.5, okay, kalau kita kata APS kita biological variation, mana kita dapat biological variation, okay, atau reference interval, kita guna biasanya EFLM, European Federation of Laboratory Medicine, EFLM. You can download the reference interval there, ataupun decision limit, okay, and then ensure validity of result through external QA. Sekarang ni ISO 15189-2022 ada satu annex ada tambahan. Annex tu untuk point of care testing, POCT. Jadi dalam bahagian A3, POCT pun perlu join some kind of quality assurance program. Tak kisahlah QA betul-betul ke ataupun ILC, but there should be some forms of quality assurance. Jadi the new ISO is more strict lah now and more coverage. So my last slide actually, measurement uncertainty. Now there are many sources of measurement uncertainty. Kita tahu measurement uncertainty boleh datang daripada calibrator, boleh datang daripada IQC, boleh datang daripada reagent, banyak jugalah pipette dan sebagainya. How can EQA facilitate MU? Sebenarnya boleh, kita calculate bias, tapi sila jangan ambil nombor yang dekat bias tu. There is a way of calculating bias. We also look at your comparison of your lab result versus expected target. Okay, so MU tu and also APS. How does APS relate to MU? We say that your MU, measurement of uncertainty, if possible, must be smaller than APS. Sebab it's a clinical range. Kalau MU lebih besar daripada APS, big problem lah. Your measurement uncertainty is so big, clinically would have a problem. So MU kena kurang daripada APS. So this is the gambar. Here you have to look at the data. Daripada data ni or this raw data, you can calculate what is your bias, individual point bias. Okay, setiap satu. The formula is actually known as variance calculation, VARIANCE, variance calculation. You boleh Google search what is a variance calculation. Sebenarnya is perbezaan, okay, difference of result. Kuasa 2 kan setiap perbezaan. Campur. Lepas tu bagi dengan N, then punca kuasa. Okay, kita tak boleh campurkan nombor macam tu saja. Kita kena kuasa 2, lepas tu kita kena punca kuasa balik to calculate your variance. And that will give you a more balanced bias number. So we don't, actually RCPA doesn't recommend you take this bias, but you have to calculate from here, from the raw data. Okay, jadi EQAU boleh memberikan gambaran biasness dari sini. That's number 1. Number 2, kalau you nak tahu, my performance okay ke tak? Look for the APS. If your MU is smaller than APS, your performance okay. If your MU is bigger than APS, ada masalah. Okay, because why? APS is your clinical range. Yeah, APS is your clinical range. So, I've reached the end of my presentation. It's quite short, okay, but just to give you an idea of, okay, at the end of today, selepas ni kita cakap-cakap ni, okay, what are the essential components of EQA APS? Tadi dah mention kita dah buat cloud quiz no, bukan cloud quiz tadi. Kan ada BV, state of the art, statistical Z-score, clinical expert opinion, okay, those are components of APS. Okay, can you differentiate Z-score dengan APS? Yes. Ada calculation dia berbeza. Satu tu statistical, satu tu clinical. Okay, hopefully lah boleh kira-kira. Kalau tak apa, nanti boleh contact saya kemudian untuk buat pengiraan. Okay, how does APS relates to performance goal? Dari segi terminology, dari segi pengiraan MU, dan juga maybe some other, when you write your quality QI, quality, okay, your document tu tentang quality tu, you need to mention what is the APS you're using. You can mention lah. So your APS tu mungkin benda daripada RCPA, mungkin APS daripada QA lain, mungkin APS daripada EFLM. You have to state your source, right? And of course, hopefully you can now define MU, and not only our data, okay, the bias data from RCPA QAP can help you calculate MU, right? So that's more or less what I wanted to cover today. Just a short 1 hour. I didn't want to take too long. I will look into the question right now. Meanwhile, kalau boleh, inilah thank you and feedback. Kalau nak type, bolehlah type macam ni, HTTPS macam tu. Kalau tak, scan dengan ni. I nak masuk kepada soalan-soalan. I'll use the other PC.
Tak ada link kan yang boleh tu je, tu kau tekan. Saya nak
Okay.
scan.
Link macam mana? Maybe I boleh type dalam chat room. Sekejap, I nak cari chat room. Mana chat room? Okay. Type je lah HTTPS. Sebab sometimes ada yang tak guna apa kan? Phone kan? forms.office.com/ I tengah type link I nak tengok soal, ada tak soalan dalam chat room. Okay, hopefully that link. Okay. Ada orang bagi IC tak nak. Is RCPA accredited with ISO? Yes. Actually inside our catalog, memang kita letak RCPA is one of the provider that has been accredited by ISO 17043. Sebenarnya a lot of international QA provider memang accredited dengan 17043. That's why dalam 17043 they have a lot of documentation and audit trail. So dia kata kalau nak tukar result, kena ada request, kena ada tunjukkan you sebenarnya ada run the test. Okay, so dia akan minta send me your print out, benda macam tu. So it's part of their paper or audit trail. Does the data from, okay, if you are using our online website, juga kepada soalan kepada Puan Hafiza yang dia tanya, adakah data daripada RCPA boleh extracted into Excel? There is a, okay, let me see. If you go to the portal, you search for, sekejap I pun kena cari apakah dia punya function. Sebentar ya. There is one option to extract actually. Let me see. But for me, I can't see lah sebab I tak ada data. I mean, I don't submit any data, so I have no data. But user is able to extract their data. Okay, there is a function, yes. It's called data extract. That means I will type into the chat room. Login macam biasa kepada myqap.rcpaqap.com.au. Okay. Apa ni? Select data extract on the left side of screen. Okay, you can select, there's one function called data extract. Bila you masuk data extract, you have to pilih, sekejap see whether my internet working or not. Okay, let me stop share here. Let me show you from here. Oh, hold on, I've lost you all. Kebaikan ada dua PC ni, sebab boleh buka. I've lost my screen. Hold on. Okay. 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 Under data extract. Okay, hold on. Let me just make it bigger. Besar sikit Okay, topi ni data extract. Okay, cari data extract. Okay, bila dah jumpa data extract ni, okay, cari disiplin yang you nak. Lepas tu program. Okay, program. Tahun. Okay, I tak ada data lah, so I tak boleh nak extract apa-apa. Usually we ask for two things. Either you get all measurement across column. The easiest is performance summary. And then if you want a particular survey, you can even tell which survey, and then you can tell which survey. And after that, okay, survey 10 lah, 9, 8 and 7 and 6 and 5. Semua lah, let's say you nak semua kan. 2, 1, okay, semua nak semua. Lepas tu you submit. Bila submit ni, dia akan hantar email. Tapi for me, I have no data, so I have nothing. But for you, as a user, when you click submit, in about, I think half an hour kot, the system will generate the data. So, your report tadi tu kan yang raw data, your result lah, analyze semua, dia akan dalam bentuk Excel. Nanti you boleh lah masuk formula dekat ujung-ujung, you nak buat pengiraan. You can try this. Okay, kalau nak, you try with 1 or 2 survey lah. Then you tengok whether the format tu benda yang you nak. Biasanya, we look for performance summary. Ataupun, measurement within same column and across column is sort of like measurement in same column tu maksudnya measurement ke bawah lah. Creatinine, chloride, macam tu ke bawah. Lactate, uric acid macam tu ke bawah. Okay, measurement across column tu maksudnya creatinine, chloride, glucose, macam tu. Silang. So either you nak macam ni atau you nak macam ni. Tapi biasanya I will pilih performance summary. Yeah. So this is how you can do data extract. This is how you can do data extract. Go back to the question again. Yes. Ada juga Encik Ihsan ada this is for your own link untuk your CPD point rasanya. Okay. So I'm open for more questions if you have any questions. Right? Yes. Okay, some of you have asked for slide. Yes, I will Jawatankuasa, I will give a slide to Encik Ihsan, mungkin nanti you can text me ataupun I will pass it to Wena.
Boleh.
Sebab I tak ada nombor you. So I can pass it to Wena dalam bentuk PPT lah. And for of course those of us that ada jawab dalam feedback form pun nanti I will send you one copy lah. Okay. Hi all. In allergens RCPA result given not detected. Okay. Soalan. Okay. Ini I think I kena Friday ni. In the results, right? Okay, low pause, moderate pause, high pause, very high pause, ungraded positive. In some technology like Fadia or Siemens, they classify the positive result untuk allergy as low pause 1, moderate pause 2 to 3, high pause 4, and very high pause class 5 and 6. Sometimes we may use a different technology, so we may want to answer as ungraded positive because in certain technology, tak kisah, dia level 1, 2, 3 or 4, it's considered as positive. Dia tak ada grade low, normal and high or moderate. As long as class 1 onwards, okay, class 1 sampai class 6 ke, class 4 ke, is considered ungraded POS. Yeah, so that is the way we will answer the QA for RCPA for allergy lah. Kena ni Friday ni. Yeah. So if it's positive, if it's positive, it can be ungraded positive. Ungraded maksudnya is just positive, dia tak ada classification low, moderate, high macam tu. Yep. So,
okey, ada apa-apa soalan lagi dari peserta?
di chat room macam tiada.
Chat room tak ada. Mungkin ada yang nak tanya, boleh unmute yourself dan
Yes.
boleh tanya share.
Oh, I would just put, I forgot. I just put my handphone number here.
Okey.
I lupa pula. Tadi dalam slide tu I lupa. Yeah, just omit the slash lah. Tadi masa saya tekan tu salah. So that's my number. You can also contact me. Yeah. But just for the information, so we have actually for our team, we've got 3 different person. We've got Rose covering Pahang, Southern, some parts of KL. We've got Siming or Mr. Chu, he's covering some parts of KL and northern part of Malaysia. So for me, I covered Kelantan, Terengganu, some parts of KL and also Sabah, Sarawak. So dari segi territory tu, you can contact us lah.
Okay, saya rasa dah tak ada soalan kot untuk sesi petang ni. Jadi saya mewakili Persatuan ASOMH mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada Shel atas satu sesi perkongsian yang sangat informatif dan interaktif pada petang ini. Sebelum saya akhiri sesi webinar pada petang ini, ada satu pengumuman ya. Persatuan Pegawai Sains Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia ASOMH dengan kerjasama Persatuan Pegawai Sains Malaysia dan Department of Standard akan menganjurkan satu bengkel panduan permohonan profesional teknologis dan ahli kimia berdaftar. Jadi saya menjemput semua peserta yang hadir pada hari ini, jika berminat boleh sama-sama join bengkel yang akan diadakan pada 6 dan 7 November 2023, iaitu 2 minggu lagi kot kalau tak salah saya. Akhir sekali, sila pastikan anda mengisi link kehadiran dan e-cert akan auto-generate selepas Google Form diisi. Sekali lagi, bagi pihak Persatuan Pegawai Sains KKM mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada Shel atas kesudian menjadi speaker jemputan kita pada minggu ini, pada bulan ini, dan pada hari ini kita telah mencatatkan penyertaan seramai hampir 260 orang peserta, dan saya berharap kesemua peserta mendapat manfaat daripada sesi webinar kita pada hari ini. Sesi rakaman webinar akan dikongsikan kepada semua peserta yang mendaftar. Sebarang soalan boleh kontak Shel pada nombor yang telah dikongsi berkaitan RCPA QAP program. Sekian daripada saya, Muhammad Safitri. Jumpa lagi pada sesi webinar akan datang. Terima kasih semua.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.